Iran News Today. What's at stake in Iran's presidential runoff? Iran held its third election in 4 months on June 28, the fastest pace since the 1906 constitutional revolution, which required regular general elections. Iranians voted in the first round of presidential elections on June 28 and for the Majlis in March and May. Fourth contest, presidential runoff, July 5. The country has the opposite of election fervor. The June 28 election produced a record low for turnout. This election had the lowest presidential turnout since 2021 with 48%. Official data shows 39.9% of voters cast a ballot on June 28, although the real number could be lower. Turnout is unlikely to climb in the second round on July 5, but where it ends is the million-dollar question. A litmus test. The two remaining candidates, reformist moderate Masoud Pezeshkian and ultra-hardline Saeed Jalali, are trying to inspire voters. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei termed the runoff a test for the system and its integrity on July 3. His sobriety shows the government's great anxiety that 60% of eligible voters who did not vote on June 28 were opposing the dictatorship, not simply Khamenei's presidential contenders. Boycott was intentional. Khamenei claims that the low attendance was a surprise and against expectations and that political experts and sociologists must investigate. Just a red herring. Khamenei knows why so many people have skipped the race. The Islamic Republic's presidential palace is second to the office of the supreme leader, which he has held since 1989. Presidential campaign. The presidential campaign emphasized this basic truth. All 6 Guardian Council-approved candidates, including the 2 who made the runoff, pledged their commitment to Khamenei and his strategic philosophy, and no one questioned his political order stewardship. In summary, no one addressed the difficult topics that underlie the Iranian public's daily frustrations. Candidates discussed tackling corruption and nepotism in internal issues, but none emphasized that Khamenei has often defended his corrupt political cronies. After all, Iran's judiciary would never defy Khamenei. No contender acknowledged that pervasive corruption in Iran requires a fundamental revamping of the Islamic Republic. According to some estimates, Khamenei controls 60% of Iran's wealth. Candidates spoke about respecting women, but none acknowledged that Khamenei's non-negotiable policy choices, like his mandatory veiling, will not alter as long as he is leader. No contender questioned Khamenei's ideological animosity against the US, Israel, and the West on foreign policy. Pezeshkian, the most radical, advocated reducing tensions with Iran's enemies, which hardliners like Jalali saw as a defeatist who opposed Iranian self-determination. The embarrassing campaign spanned several weeks and included many live presidential debates. Candidates debated milk prices and how many houses they would build as president, ignoring the most pressing domestic and foreign policy issues. This lack of earnestness and vision contrasts with Iran's neighbors, who are mainly not democracies but are planning long-term national development and post-oil economies. Final stretch. Before the July 5 elections, declaring Pezeshkian a closet liberal, a disparaging epithet in the Islamic Republic, has been common. Pro-hardline media have tried to portray him as uninterested in everyday problems like the necessary veil, the public's access to high-speed internet, or compromising with Western powers. During the campaign, Khamenei constantly intimated that his desired president would be a revolutionary, meaning someone who would not cross the regime's red lines. However, Iranian citizens boycotted the June 28 election because they think no elected president can confront Khamenei. Many reasons to be cynical. Iranian voters can point to 1997 and 2013 presidential elections where Mohammad Khatami and Hassan Rouhani gained a majority vote on the promise of political change but failed to challenge Khamenei. Even if Pezeshkian wins on July 5, the average Iranian would consider it the better of 2 awful possibilities. No big changes are likely in Iran under Khamenei. The inter-regime reformist hardline fault lines have been tumultuous leading up to the July 5 election. The reformist moderate camp fears Jalali will win. A Jalali victory might convert Iran into a North Korea-style hermit kingdom or a Sharia Afghanistan like the poor Taliban. Exaggeration. A Jalali presidency will be like Ebrahim Raizi's, with bureaucrats hired for factional loyalty rather than competence. Domestic and foreign policies will be bunglingly uncompromising. Pezeshkian supporters like former President Hassan Rouhani have noted that Raizi's ideological and intransigent foreign policy cost Iran $300 billion in sanctions during his 3 years in office, and Jalali's election will likely cause more financial ruin. Khamenei's role in the nuclear crisis cannot be acknowledged since open criticism of the supreme leader is taboo. If Pezeshkian wins, he can only continue Rouhani's 3-year legacy. The concern is whether Khamenei will approve a new nuclear deal with the West like he did in 2015. That would be an achievement, but a new nuclear deal is no panacea for the common Iranian. Iranians recall last time, when a pact was reached but the Khamenei-led dictatorship stuck to its ideological objective, disappointing them. The Iranian people realizes it was a tactical move, not a major turning point. It appears that the Iranian population is actively encouraging Khamenei to appoint the ideologically repressive Jalali as president. That arrogance could place Iran at a crossroads. The lesson is clear: political reform in the Islamic Republic requires street protests again. Khamenei will only blame himself if so. Currently, we wait. Pezeshkian won 10.4 million votes against Jalali's 9.4 million on June 28. Mohammad Kalibaf, another hardliner, received 3.4 million. Will all Kalibaf supporters vote for Jalali, or will many of those who skipped the first round vote on July 5 in fear of a Jalali presidency, despite their deep qualms about voting in the Islamic Republic? Time will tell.